This is just what this is just what I believe, from my observation of how to look at things when you're looking at gravity, how gravity is to work, or how they say gravity works, or whatever. Um, Gravity is a force when you're standing up or laying down that is said to grab a hold of you and force you to be on the ground. Well, if that's true, how can we jump? How can we climb something without gravity pulling you down to where you can't climb that high because your muscles are going to give out trying to climb as high as you can? The limbs on the trees that stick out every which way, the big limbs. How come those limbs ain't bending? Even if they're growing, and because they're soft, because they're alive, they're going to, from when they stick out far enough, gravity's going to grab the end of it and pull it down to pull it to the ground. How can a moth, butterfly, crickets, grasshoppers be able to jump and fly when gravity is grabbing a hold of them to pull them down? How can a bird, without flapping its wings, just sticking straight out, to glide through the sky flat without gravity grabbing a hold of it and yanking it to the ground? And it's got to use its wings and never stop flapping to stay up in the sky. Y'all aren't looking at this stuff. Everything's by weight. How can gravity take one type of metal and then another type of metal, and they both can be the same size, but one, by weight, is heavier than the other, but you say gravity's what's pulling it down? So how can gravity calculate how much to pull one down that's supposed to seem heavier than the other when they're both the same size? There is no such thing as gravity. It was a theory, a guess, an opinion, hypothesis. That's what it was, a theory. So what someone thinks. They have nothing physical or anything to prove it. Everything's known. It takes so many pounds of pressure to break something, to pull something. And even to pull something down to hold it. And it has to all be equal pull to everything, which would eliminate a weight-based system, because it would have to pull everything down at an equal amount of force, so nothing would be heavier than the other in a weight-based system. You all gotta think about that, and then discuss it with GPT the same way, and ask questions like everybody else who says gravity don't exist. Can gravity and a weight-based system actually exist at the same time when two things weigh at a different weight? And so how is gravity to be able to is able to just calculate how one type of metal is to weigh more than another type of piece of metal, or that it is to pull one piece of metal down harder, or have more pull on one type of metal than the other to make something, to create a weight-based system. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. There's no such thing as gravity, or we'd all fall at the same speed and the same pull of force. So you all take care. Bye.